Trump's trade storm, the Economic Declaration of Independence and its global consequences. On April 3, 2025, Donald Trump, in a challenge to the world order, announced new reciprocal tariffs that he said would protect the American economy. But instead of the expected calm, the world plunged into chaos. A basic 10% tariff on all imports and a shocking 50% for trade imbalance violators hit 60 countries, including giants like China and the European Union. But what does this mean for America's closest allies, Canada and the UK? Canada, between a rock and a hard place. Canada, seemingly protected by the USMCA, finds itself in the eye of the storm. The temporary relief from tariffs is deceptive. After all, the Canadian economy's dependence on exports to the US, especially in the auto and energy sectors, makes it extremely vulnerable. According to Statistics Canada, exports to the United States account for more than 75% of Canada's total exports. This means that any fluctuation in trade relations with the United States could have disastrous consequences. Automotive, many auto companies, including Ford, GM, and Chrysler, have manufacturing facilities in Canada and export finished products to the United States. The new tariffs could make Canadian cars less competitive, leading to production cuts and job losses. As of 2023, the United States imported $34.9 billion in cars from Canada. Energy, Canada is the largest supplier of oil and natural gas to the United States. The new tariffs could reduce demand for Canadian energy, hurting the economies of provinces that rely on energy production and exports. United Kingdom, at a crossroads after Brexit. The United Kingdom, which is looking to strengthen its position after Brexit, has also come under attack. Historically strong trade ties with the United States, particularly in the financial and services sectors, are now at risk. The United States is one of the country's largest trading partners, according to the UK Department for International Trade. The new tariffs could make British goods and services less competitive in the US market, which in turn would hurt economic growth and employment. Financial sector, London is one of the world's largest financial centers, and many British financial services firms do business in the US. The new tariffs could limit access by British financial services to the US market, which would lead to lower revenues and job losses. Services, the UK is a major exporter of services, including consulting, engineering and education. The new tariffs could make British services less competitive in the US market, which would hurt the country's economy. Global fallout. The European Union has largely expressed its readiness for an immediate response, calling Trump's actions unreasonable. But behind the diplomatic rhetoric, there is a real threat to the Irish economy. A 20% tariff on Irish whiskey and dairy products could spell disaster for local businesses and lead to massive layoffs. Economists are warning of a looming global trade war, where every move could have unpredictable consequences. Financial markets have already reacted with panic. Stocks are falling, bonds are rising, and investors are looking for safe havens. There is also discontent brewing within the United States. Trump's critics argue that tariffs will drive up prices for consumers and fuel inflation, which is projected to reach 2.8% in 2025. The average American household could lose up to $2,100 in purchasing power. But Trump is adamant. He sees these tariffs as a declaration of economic independence that could bring manufacturing back to the U.S. and create new jobs. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick cites investments by Nvidia and SoftBank as proof that the new policy is effective. However, according to Barron's, there is a real threat of stagflation, a combination of economic stagnation and high inflation. Forecasts call for a slowdown in GDP growth of 1% in 2025 and 1.4% in 2026. Will America be able to withstand pressure from international partners and domestic economic factors? How will consumers and businesses react to rising prices and changing trade conditions? The answers to these questions remain unclear. Trump's tariff policy is a risky move that could either revive the American economy or drag the country into a new round of crisis. And in this high-stakes game, Canada and the UK, as close allies of the US, could find themselves in the eye of the storm. What do you think about this? Is Trump right to impose these tariffs, or is this just a harbinger of global economic instability?